I need air. Oh, this is too much for me. I can't.
Queen of England is now a Zygon. But never mind that. Why are we all together? Why are we all here?
Because I've dreamt of this and I wished for it. Yeah. Ew. Oh, those are gross. Ew, ew, ew. Where are the
So do I. Oh, for goodness sake.
She's good.
Priority 1. I'm going to need access to the Black Archive.
I love how only the best of the best are working on this case.
Wouldn't approve of the collection.
But you let me in.
You have a top-level security rating from your last visit.
Sorry.
Wow. What the?
Time travel. A vortex manipulator bequeathed to the unit archive by Captain Jack Harkness on the...
Jack.
Yes. Well, if you found it, photograph it.
Oh no, they changed.
Dear me. I really do get into character, don't I?
Activation code, right?
To the doctors?
Takes centuries. Oh, we might as well get started. Help to pass the timey-wimey. Children, what is it that makes you so ashamed of being a grown-up?
Hey, take that back.
It must be really recent for you.
Recent.
No, he didn't do it yet.
Did you ever count
Count what?
how many children there were on Gallifrey that day?
I've absolutely no idea.
Oh, they counted millions of times.
What would be the point?
2.47 billion.
You forgot.
0.47.
400 years, is that all it takes? I moved on. Where can you be now that you can forget something like that? Spoilers. No. 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 For once, I would like to know where I'm going. No, you really wouldn't.
The man who regrets and the man who forgets. The moment is me. You have to decide.
Speechless.
Well, at a software level, they're all the same device, aren't they? Same software, different case. And that screwdriver is still mine. That calculation is still going on.
Oh.
Yeah, still going.
Calculation complete.
Same software, different face.
Oh, wow.
Are incredibly clever.
Hi.
How did you do that?
Ew, what is that? Oh, no, I don't know.
Kate! Goodness, you're not actually dead. Oh, that's tremendous news.
Oh, that's her inside. Oh no. Oh, that's so gross.
Those creatures have got access to the Black Archive. We may just have lost control of the planet.
That's not good.
The undergallery, like cuppa soups, except you add time, if you can picture that. Nobody could picture that. Forget I said cuppa soups.
Now the world is worth conquering. So the Zygons are invading the future from the past.
Exactly. It's not just the smell, or the unconvincing hair, or the atrocious teeth,
He's good.
or the breath that could stun a horse. It's because my...
Oh no. If she's real though,
Because it's not my plan. and I am the real Elizabeth.
Shoot, that's even worse than the encounter with Matt before. Like, not with Matt before, like the first encounter with David.
But first, my love, you have a promise to keep.
Like, what I wanted to say is that he said worse things now than the first time he thought she was the alien one. Oh, yay! Well, the wedding with River was way more romantic than that.
Right then, back to the future.
Everyone in the TARDIS.
Phase he grows out of it.
All three of them.
Listen to them.
In the TARDIS.
Hey, look, the round things. I love
The round
things.
things,
What are the
yeah.
round things? No idea. There! Stabilize!
Oh, wow.
I don't like it.
Unit HQ, they followed us there in the Black Archive. Okay, so you've heard of that then?
If I were human, I'd say it was Christmas.
I said that it's Christmas today already. Those beings are so gross.
You'll realize they're
Wow, look at that!
of alien incursion. The contents of this,
This
room
is
are deemed
cool.
so dangerous it will self-destruct in
5 minutes.
Great.
Just listen to me!
I love how they're on the same side.
We don't need to laugh.
Yeah,
We do.
we do. Tiny bit.
Yeah, we do. Fine a bit.
Cup of soup.
Okay. Oh, I'm so happy.
What happened? Easier to show you.
Wow. Okay.
McGillip.
Take a look at your phone and confirm who you're talking to.
Oh, that's why I said it's not possible.
Painting to the Black Archive, understood?
Understood, sir. But why would I take it there?
Just do what you're told. Don't question it.
Please save us. Please save us. Please save us.
She really believes in the doctor. Wow. A slow walk. Okay, this is how epic we can get. That's it. We can't get more epic than that. That's it.
Also, the showing off.
You get it right.
I love how Rose and Clara are standing at the exact same place. This is so cool.
Both of you together.
And then you're going
Oh.
to negotiate the most
Can we have a whole
perfect treaty of all time.
series with those two?
Peacing out.
So far, so good. Wait. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Cyberman. Oh, those are people from the classic episodes, are they? Every time I want to say something, there's something new on the screen. I'm totally confused. Like distracted, not confused.
You're very sure of yourself.
He regrets it.
Yeah, but if he
I see it
doesn't
in his
do
eyes
it,
every day. He'd do anything to change.
your doctor wouldn't exist anymore.
How did you know?
Your eyes. You're so much younger.
And
Who's
she's-
there? Who are you talking to?
Oh.
Oh, you wanted a big red button. One big bang. No more time lords.
I know he has to do it, because otherwise the future that we've already seen wouldn't exist.
You know the sound the TARDIS makes? That wheezing.
Yeah.
That sound brings hope wherever it goes.
Okay. Question is, who is in the TARDIS? 2 TARDIS? Says they're not gonna push the button together, are they? They're not. No, never.
Go away now, all of you. This is for me.
This is what I wanted to see for months, even years.
Go and be the doctor that I could never be. Make it worthwhile.
You were the doctor more than anybody else.
You were the doctor on the day it wasn't possible to get it right.
That's true.
But this time, you don't have to do it alone. It's not out of fear or hatred. It is done because there is no other way.
You told me you wiped out your own people. I never pictured you doing it, that's all. These are the people you're gonna burn.
There isn't another way, there never was. Either I destroy my own people or let the universe burn. Then what do I do?
What you've always done. Be a doctor.
You're not actually suggesting that we change our own personal history.
We change history all the time.
Yeah, but
I had 400 years to think about this.
true.
I changed my mind.
What?
Still a bit.
How is that possible?
Oh,
Who did?
bad wolf girl, I could kiss you.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Sorry, did you just say...
He's standing right next to her.
What if the whole planet just disappeared?
Tiny bit of an ask.
The Daleks would be firing on each other. They'd destroy themselves in their own crossfire.
Where would Gallifrey be?
Frozen in an instant of time. Safe and hidden away. Like a painting.
What the fuck? Can we really do that?
You sure the messages from
We're
him?
changing
Oh,
the
yes. Why would you
history
do that?
of the whole show.
What's the mad fool?
Opening it up for possibilities in the future that I could never think of.
All my worst nightmares at once.
We have a plan. We should point out at this moment.
Exact opposite for me.
Lost in another universe. Frozen in a single moment. We'd have nothing.
You would have hope.
Hundreds of years.
Oh, hundreds and hundreds, but don't worry.
I started a very long time ago.
The War Council of Gallifrey. This is the Doctor.
You might say I
Got goosebumps.
To lock onto his coordinates.
And for my next trick, I didn't know when I was well off.
Christopher, he's in there.
Sir! The Daleks know that something is happening. They're increasing their firepower.
Is it possible? Can we do it? Can we?
Do it.
Okay. Gentlemen.
He was looking right at me. Well, almost. Almost. Okay.
And if I grow to be half the man that you are, Clara Oswald, I won't remember this, will I?
The time streams are out of sync. You can't retain it. No.
But for now, for this moment, I am the Doctor again.
course. I suppose it makes sense.
I hope the ears are a bit less conspicuous this time.
Wait a minute. Christopher, right?
Where it is we're going that you don't want to talk about.
I saw Trenzalore. Trenzalore is where you're going.
Oh, never say nothing. Good to know my future is in safe hands.
On it.
I have to say goodbye to David again.
Trenzalore.
We need a new destination because I don't want to go.
You had to say that sentence, did he? You had to say it.
Those big sad eyes.
Was that enough already? Gosh.
I'd be the great curator. I could retire and do that.
You know, I really think you might.
Who's talking? Hello? Hello? Who's talking?
I never forget a face.
I know you don't.
Shit.
Find yourself revisiting a few, but just the old favorites.
Am I supposed to remember as well?
It's all one title. Gallifrey falls no more.
Oh.
The Gallifrey didn't fall. It worked.
You have a lot to do.
Do I? Is that what I'm supposed to do now? Go looking for Gallifrey?
Well, it's entirely up to you. Your choice. I can only tell you what I would do. If I were you... Oh, if I were you. Or perhaps you are me.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
On Baker, isn't it?
Who knows?
Who knows?
But you're not going anywhere. You're just wandering about. That's not true. Where I've always been going. Home. The long way round.
Wow. Wow. Oh, the faces of all the doctors. It's good that we're watching this because my brain needs a moment to compensate. Well, Matt Smith looks the coolest. How? Please tell me how. How am I supposed to even start to do the review for this one? How? My mind was all over the place already in so many series finales. But it was nothing nothing compared to this. Wow. I have no idea how I'm going to talk about what I've just seen. My brain is racing. I'm still processing. I feel as if I've watched a movie for 3 hours. Because so much was in there. Not because it was so boring that it felt like 3 hours, but it felt like so immersive. I felt as if I was there with them. I was taken out of reality for almost the whole time while watching this. There were moments when I needed to blow my nose and where I needed something to drink, although I think I've only drank once in this whole thing. I usually drink way more. And then there were certain moments where I was afraid that I wasn't recording anymore, or something went wrong with the recording. But, wow. And by the way, I think I'm going to put this into 2 parts recording-wise. I'm going to stop recording right now, get my thoughts together, and make sure that what we've just recorded is safe, that nothing happens while the review is running, because if something would go wrong right now, I'd probably do something. I don't even want to talk about that. We're not gonna risk this. I'm gonna save all of those 1 hour and 45 minutes right now. Think about what I've just seen. Try to compensate, and then I'm gonna be back. For you, it's just gonna be a second. I'll be back in a second. I'm back. Hi there. Like I said, it was just gonna be a second for you. It was like 2 to 3 minutes for me. And I'm still not there yet, I have to be honest here. This is just too much for my brain. Like, what we just watched was the very best episode of Doctor Who I have ever seen in my life. Everything that has happened, we're used to having Doctor Who finales where they show characters from the past, where they do have stories that took place in the past and we bring it back to the future or to the very moment we're in at this episode, and we're trying to solve problems from the past, from the future, in the now. But nothing like this has ever happened. Well, first of all, we've spoken about the topic in Doctor Who, like the big topic that we've talked about in so many episodes ever since we started New Who. Every single Doctor that we've seen has talked about this very moment. And I remember asking about the Time War, what it all meant, what it is, where it leads to, what happened. Such a long time ago, years, like 2 years ago. I don't know when I started the YouTube channel, but I do remember from the very, not the very beginning, but almost from the very beginning, the Time War was mentioned in one way or the other. And we never touched that topic. Like, we're just like mentioning it, and that's it. And then when we changed from the Christopher Doctor to the David Doctor, the mentionings got more, and we began to see the impact that this day had on the Doctor with David, because he was the one who suffered from it. I don't remember the exact same words, but Rose talked about this when they were in that prison cell or in that room and they wanted to get out. She was talking about David and about Matt, but the one who suffered from it, don't remember the exact same words, and the one who wants to forget about it, the Mad Doctor. So with series 2, we started mentioning it more and more and seeing the impact on what it did. And then with Matt, every time someone mentioned it or every time it got picked up in a talk or whatever, he was just trying to push it away. David did the same thing. he didn't want to talk about it either. But Matt always gave me the feeling of he doesn't even want to have anything to do with it anymore. He just wants to push it aside, forget about it, move on. Yeah. And David was the one who was still, he wanted to forget it as well, but he was so conflicted, sad, still crying on the inside over what happened. And I mean, he was the Doctor that was way closer to that one. I wonder why they kind of didn't do that with Christopher at all. I mean, it's been years since I've seen an episode with him, but I do not really remember that he showed us the impact of the Time War. Although he was the very first Doctor after that. Like, he was the closest to the Time War from all those 3 Doctors. Like, having a TV show that's been going on for, now it's over 60 years. Back then it was 50 years. With pauses, with a break in between. But having a TV show like this gives you possibilities that no other TV show has ever had. And I am so glad that this is the one who did it. This is the one who persisted, who's there for over 60 years now, because they are the people who know how to use the potential. Because this is the kind of show that is able to do that as well. And there are people behind the scenes that just know their freaking job. And they just live for Doctor Who. And they are so eager to produce something unique, something that no other television show has ever done or will ever be able to do. Because this is something unique. This is something you only see once on television. And then never again. And this is not only possible because of the fact that we're changing the main cast. That we're able to do that, which is special in itself. What other TV show can do that? So this was the very first genius idea. To be able to change the cast to keep the show running for years and years to come. But in addition to that, to make it a show about time traveling so that you can use the full potential of what's possible. It's just something that I can't even imagine how people created such a unique experience. From nothing. It was just an idea in the head of a person one day. And now look at that. Look at that. The legacy. I am speechless. I could praise this episode for hours. And I mean, you guys, you probably do feel the very same about it. But it's just something that I can't even begin to explain because it's so huge. This show is older than I am. It's bigger than me. Like generations of human beings have watched this show, are watching the show right now, and will watch the show in the future. I can't, you guys. This is just something that is too big for my head, like for, I don't even know. And to be able to not only continue this story for so long, but also connect it every single time with past events, make it work. We've all seen TV shows that tried to do something similar in terms of, oh, we're picking up a story from season 1 in season 3 and trying to make it work. And there are so many plot holes in there that you can't even. And those are 50 years of history. And they're managing to come up with a story that just fits in there and connects the past with the present, with the future, and gives us this great story. It's not a plain episode where they were like, okay, we're connecting all those dots, which in itself is already so difficult to do. I just told you how difficult it is and how other shows have failed trying to begin to do something like that. But making it a story that is as entertaining as this piece of history has been, like from the very start to the end, it was intriguing, it was funny, it was sad, it was everything, it had everything. Do you guys understand how great this is? Like I said, I could continue for hours doing that. But somewhere on the way, we have to get into the episode and actually talk about what happened. I'm already talking for 10 minutes and I haven't, started with even one scene. But I just want to, this is a very special occasion today, so I'm taking my time. And I just want to tell you how much I appreciate what I've just seen. I really want to get my point across of how connected I feel to this story, even though I only know a part of it, because I'm still missing pieces from the past, and I'm missing pieces from the future. I'm somewhere in between, but already the picture, I can't even imagine how they're going to continue in the future. I'm speechless. I am speechless. Wow. Okay, you guys, okay. Somewhere today we have to get into the episode and talk about what we've just seen. But I just wanted to make it clear for everyone to see I'm not taking this for granted. This is a unique experience and I appreciate it with my whole heart. I love this show to bits, you guys. I do. Gosh, now I'm starting to cry in the review. Great. I don't even need a picture. I just need to talk about the show. Calm down, calm down. It's because my feelings are still there from the episode. Everything. Oh gosh. Okay, before I start, because my brain's already racing again, before I start talking about stuff and mixing it up here and there and everything, we're just gonna go through the episode one by one. Are you with me on the ride? Let's go. Start from the very beginning. The very first scene, even before the scene, we get the classic intro, the black and white intro, the intro music from the classic episodes, and we get the scene in black and white. It starts just like a classic episode, which is so great to do that. To, in the very first seconds, show the viewer, oh, by the way, do you know how this show started? It started in black and white, exactly 50 years ago. I have no words. I can't even tell you how that makes me feel. And we start with Clara, and she's meeting the doctor. Gosh, I was so happy to see Matt again, by the way, because, I mean, we've seen great pieces of Doctor Who history in the past weeks. We really did. But I really missed Matt as well. And I can remember, like, last week, after seeing the movie, I talked about missing Matt, and I wanted to get him back, so... Judging by that feeling that I had during the last week of missing Matt so much, I don't even want to imagine him gone, because this is gonna hurt just equally as much as it hurt to see David go. I can already tell you that the episode that happens, I'm gonna lose everything. I'm gonna lose everything. My hopes, my dreams, my sanity, everything will be gone. Brace yourself. Okay. Well, then we had the scene with the flying TARDIS. That was really cool. I liked that very much. And this is where I wasn't able to watch anymore because I had to look away because of all the names. And thank you, Andrew, for the warning because I really didn't want to see all the names. I didn't want to see who's there and who's not. So, what a nice surprise. Even Rose. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet, bit by bit. So we get into this museum kind of thingy. And then we see the picture. By the way, that picture, I don't know if I do get it in a frame right now, but I don't think so. Then I'm going to be lucky enough. No. But yeah, we see that. And then we see the pictures of the Time War. And to be honest, we already knew what the Time War meant for the Time Lords. We already knew that all of them have been killed because the doctor, like both of the doctors already talked about that. But seeing those children on screen, seeing their faces, seeing them cry, seeing them die, that was something else. Even for me. I'm not a doctor, I wasn't there. I didn't do it, I didn't go through it. I'm just watching it. But it hurt me so much to see that. So I can't even imagine the pain that the doctor must feel. It's something that I don't want to say never occurred to me, because it did occur to me how cruel it must have been. But like I said, seeing it is something else. Also the inscription, I like how they played with that as well. When at first it's just 2 words, like it's no more. And then in the end of the movie, they just combine it with 2 other words and it gets a totally different meaning. Which is so cool. By the way, the cinematography of this episode, just don't let me get started, because this was on a totally other level. How much money did they have? This looks awesome. This looks fabulous. This looks so epic. I've said it throughout the episode already. It's like those pictures, those different planets, the lighting, like the darkness during the war, and seeing the Doctor on the other side, like before he decided to do all that in the opposite lighting, like it's very bright where he is right now, because the dark times haven't started yet. Like they were talking with the pictures, they were talking with the scenes they created, not only the characters and the stuff that was talked about, but even the cinematography, the lighting, everything was talking in this episode, which was very overwhelming watching it for the first time, because you kind of want to pay attention to everything, but you just can't. You're just a human being. I think I will have to rewatch this for at least 3 times to get everything that I need to get out of this episode. But that's just one example that I saw during the first watch, where you see, like, you can see over here just a few seconds ago, this is the scene with the Time War. It's very dark and hard pictures and everything. And then a few seconds later, we can even see the sun shining at the sky. It's bright, it's warm, it's so well done. I have no words for that. It's just like magic. Then we get to see the face that we've already seen 2 times right by now. But this time, we actually do get a whole story around this Doctor. And we finally get to see what he was like and what he's been up to all that time. And about the worst decision of his life. So he's in there, in this house kind of thingy, trying to get, I don't know, some device, timey-wimey stuff to work, by the way. The jokes about the timey-wimey stuff, oh my gosh, hilarious. And then we see her, Rose. Rose is back. Well, the actress Rose, the actress who played Rose is back. It's not actually Rose, which I noticed pretty fast because she did such a great job acting different to what Rose used to be like. And after a few sentences, I already sensed that something was wrong with her and that this isn't a Rose that we know. This is someone or somebody else. Turns out she's the interface of the TARDIS. We have seen the interface already in certain episodes, and it always appeared as or it tried to appear as a helpful figure to the Doctor. And this time it was Rose, and I'm so happy that it was her because I've missed her so much as well. Also, she looked so cool in those shots. I have missed you, Rose. I really did. I hope that maybe this would be Rose, like the Rosa we know in the parallel universe or something, and that she would be back for this episode as well. But I take what I can get. And if she is the interface of the TARDIS, that's alright with me, as long as she is there. So, yeah. And they do talk about the Time War, and that he has to make a decision, but he doesn't want to do it, which is very obvious, and yeah, who would want to do that? I find it funny that he was talking about a big red button that he wanted there. I was like, yeah, why can't there be a big red button? It would be so easy to use that thing, but he didn't know how to do that. And then later on in the finale, we can see, and Rose also points out that there is a big red button now. That was a funny one. And then we see the picture. And this picture is so cool. At first it looks like a picture, but then you get closer to it and you move left and right and you can see it's 3D. Does a picture like that exist? Is that something that you can buy? I mean, not as good as it's here on television, of course. But I do know that there is a technique to make 3D pictures in reality, in our reality. So is there something? Because I really want to buy that. It doesn't have to be that big though. And then something else I found very interesting in that scene is the phone call that the one scientist makes. And he's talking to someone we don't know yet. I found this a very, very cool detail because later on we find out he's talking to the Doctor. And when I first saw the scene, I thought he was talking to someone evil. That's a very cool detail. So, and then we see this face. Like, you have no idea how much I missed that face. Ever since I've seen the Midnight episode, it's gotten worse again. And like throughout the whole Matt era, I've missed his face so much. So having him in this episode was brilliant. But having him in the same episode and the Mad Doctor was a dream come true. But having both of them in the same scene, I can't even explain. I can't even start to explain how great that is. It's just the best thing that has ever happened in this whole show. It is just something that will never, ever, ever come back to me. And I know that. I know I will probably have to rely on this one episode to get that feeling again. But it's all worth the pain because now I do have something that I can go back to whenever I'm missing David and missing Matt at the same time, because I'm already missing him. I know someday he has to go. And he's such a great Doctor, just as David. And having them together in those scenes. I think I didn't breathe for 10 minutes in between the scenes because there was just one joke after the other. Both of those Doctors are so witty and so funny. They have always been like that. But having them in one scene combined, it's just like bam, 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 one joke, next joke. And like, it's jokes all around. Like 24 jokes in 20 seconds. This is just the funniest Doctor Who is ever going to be. This is the best of the best. I enjoyed those scenes so much. And I wish I could erase them from my memory, just to rewatch it again for the very first time. By the way, this Elizabeth woman, I was thinking about so many Elizabeths that we've seen throughout Doctor Who, and I thought none of them was the first, was it? And then I thought, oh, the werewolf one could have been the first. But was that even Elizabeth? And then I wasn't sure anymore. And then I was thinking about the girl in the fireplace when I saw her, because she looks kind of similar. But then I thought, no, that's not her either. So I didn't talk about it anymore because I would have just freaked things up. And to be honest, I don't recognize her face. And if I should, I'm so sorry. I do not recognize her face. I don't think we've ever seen her before. And yeah. But the scenes with her were so funny, especially when she started. Like, oh my gosh, that scene when David talked to her. He just didn't shut up. He just kept continuing saying stupid stuff about her. And then she's like, yeah, but I'm not an alien. I'm a human being. I'm the Elizabeth. It's me. And I'm like, oh no. And then later in the next scene when he talks to her for the second time, it's even worse. That was so funny. That was so funny. So we see them running away and all that. And then we cut back to the Matt storyline. And, oh, by the way, we've seen 2 times how both of the doctors got sent the fez, the one that Matt is picking up in this scene or the scene before that one. And we get to learn that something escaped from the picture. But I also noticed immediately as soon as Matt picked up that fez that he's going to be the one to send it to the other doctors. I didn't know if it would be intentionally or just by accident, but I knew he was the one to do that. And I love it. I love it so much. And this is where things started to climb on a level where I wasn't even able to follow the story anymore for short time spans, because here is where the joking happened. And it was so fast. And it was so much. And I held my breath. And it was just a show of those 2 actors combined that I would have never thought was even possible. Like seeing them together. For such a long time, we've seen minisodes with doctors combined, but it was only 1 or 2 minutes, sometimes 3, I don't know how long those minisodes were. But a whole long episode with them combined, it was just the best. I just want to go and rewatch it. I want to finish this review because I want to go and rewatch all of it. It was so funny. My God. And I couldn't tell which one was the funnier one and which one I liked more in that scene, because I loved them both equally as much in those scenes. As of today, or before I started watching the episode, I always thought that I loved David so much more than Matt. That David is somewhere here and Matt is somewhere here. He's very high up there because Christoph is somewhere like down here. He's very high up there. But there was always a gap between those 2. But in this movie, I felt the love for both of them. They just feel like my doctors. They just feel like it. I can't do anything about it. They are my doctors. I have love equally as much for both of them in my heart. That's what I want to say. I really wish there was a whole series with those 2. But then again, at the end of that series, when they would go, I'd be jumping out the window, because that would break my heart completely. That would be a disaster. So be careful what you wish for. was already hard enough with this one episode. Having a whole series and then letting them go. Also, the way that they, like, the things they said, the jokes they made, all those insiders for people who know the show. This wouldn't have been half as funny for people who were watching this movie, like, as a first encounter with the show, because they wouldn't know what they were talking of, let alone the jokes about the screwdriver. That's something, like, you can only understand those jokes if you're a fan of the show, if you've seen so many episodes and all. I mean, you can only understand the whole story, what's going on in this movie, if you are, because otherwise you're totally lost. You're gonna be like, what the frick? And I really want to know if there are people out there who watched this movie as the very first thing about Doctor Who ever. Do those people exist? Do you know those people? And how, I don't know, I can't even think about what they thought if they didn't know anything about Doctor Who. My babies, look at them. Both on the screen at the same time. Okay, we have to change the screen because I'm crying again and I don't want to cry, so we have to go on. We see the nights. Everything's fine. Look at the face that it makes. Wait a minute. It's a little dark like that. Look at the face. Oh my god. So cute. And then we see the monsters, which are really gross, those monsters. And yeah, I have to be honest here. The stuff that was happening outside the scenes with Matt and David was really hard for me to get through sometimes because I just wanted to go back to them. So then we do have this famous scene. For me, it's a famous scene because this scene is one of the most important scenes in Doctor Who history ever, where all three doctors combined in one room are talking about the decision that the doctor, the war doctor, I'm gonna call him that, is going to make. How did I even start the sentence? Oh my gosh, brain completely offline. Because they don't know yet, David and Matt, that he didn't decide yet. That it was still up to them to get the other doctor to the point where he's like, not going to do that. And they don't know that they can still change things. So the hatred they have for that man, for themselves, is so big in that scene. And that creates a conflict that is so wonderfully written into words in this scene. How they are going about this topic. When he asked Matt and David about, have you ever counted how many children were on the planet when it blew up? The look on their faces. And then you can see Matt, the Matt doctor, who's like, no, I never counted. Why would I want to do that? And then it skips to David. Because I already knew, even if Matt denied that he ever counted, I knew, and we all knew, that he had counted. Because it's 400 years. You've counted million of times, at least. And then we get the confession of David, where it's like, so and so many billions of kids. I've counted them. Why haven't you? And then David gets angry at Matt for trying to forget what happened because he's the doctor, and then Rose explains it. He's the one that suffered from it. Matt's the one who wants to forget. This scene is gold. This scene is one of the best scenes in the whole Doctor Who history. For me, at least. All those generations combined, and this big problem of the time war, and how each doctor, because most of the time in this movie, David and Matt are on the same page. But in this scene, they're divided for a short period of time. How each doctor goes about what is about to happen, or what they think has happened. Also combining those doctors, combining those characters, combining the timelines, and making a whole scene out of it that is so impactful in hindsight. It's just brilliant. This is like Oscar worthy, if there is an Oscar for something like that. I don't know. I think they don't give Oscars to certain scenes in TV shows, but if there was one, you should give it to this scene, because that's the best out of this movie. And in addition to that, to all the seriousness, just when I see it, I need to laugh. Like, you have this very serious scene that's talking about a whole history of a character and about the whole history of a TV show. And you have all this serious talk. You're about to cry with them. But then you insert jokes of a screwdriver. And you also show the way everyone worked with the screwdriver. And then they joke about it. And a few seconds later, it's a very important device, and they come up with a brilliant idea of combining those 3 screwdrivers, and the one who's starting the process, the one who's still counting, and the one who's finished the process, because 400 years have passed. It's brilliant. I can't. There are no better words that I can come up with. It's just, I just googled the word. It's just ingenious. It's just masterly. So yeah, then we do get this short wedding scene. To be honest, if anything, I was reminded of the wedding between River and the Doctor. Yeah, but I don't know. It was a little funny. I love Matt's face. Look at his face. And also David's face while he's kissing her. So funny. Yeah, but it's not really a super important scene in terms of like important for the movie. Then they enter the TARDIS for the first time. I don't know. For the very first time, all 3 together and Clara. And it's the design of the old TARDIS with the round things. And then later it changes its appearance and it turns into Matt's TARDIS. And David's like, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's iconic. It's iconic. It's just something that every fan of Doctor Who would wish for. So many inside jokes. Yeah, and in the meantime, we see all of those people being like kidnapped by the evil beings. I'm looking for the picture where they were sitting. Oh, here we go. This is the picture I was looking for, because this is just another example for brilliant cinematography. This scene is so cool. The way they filmed that. There are so many ways that you could have gone about this, but this is the way they chose, and it's brilliant. Look at that. It's so cool. Oh my gosh, love it to bits. And then we set up this timer, and our doctors just come there, and then we see pictures of the war again and what it did to the people. We see this. Oh my gosh. I want this as a poster behind me. Or, no, I want this over there so that I can see it every single day while sitting in front of the computer working. Because this is brilliant. Does this exist as a poster? If not, I'm going to print it out. Because I want this. I don't even need the women standing left and right. I just need the middle part. That's so cool. I love them so much. Oh, and I loved the talk between this Doctor and Clara. This little scene wasn't a big one in terms of time. We didn't talk for long. But it was a very important scene. And I love that he not only sees Rose as a former companion of the Doctor, like the character of her, but he also sees Clara, and both of those companions give him the direction, or try to give him the direction which he has to choose. It's companions of the Doctor, and he's a Doctor, so that's another thing that I really liked about that. So then in the big finale, we can see that the Doctor got a red button. He wanted one, and it's even a very pretty one, to be honest. A flowery looking one. So that's really cool. Yeah, and he's about to push the button and make his decision to start a time war, or to end the time war, better to say, and kill Gallifrey and all the people on the planet. And then Rose says the word. She starts talking about the TARDIS and how that sound, if anyone hears it, as helpless as they are, will always make them feel better and will always give them hope. And that's exactly what it did in that very scene. And I loved that, because I always imagined hearing that sound in my real life when I was sad or anything. I was like, if I could hear this sound right now, I'd freak. That would be so cool. And maybe I sometimes did hear it in my brain. Yeah, but it wasn't there in reality. Yeah, I'm insane. Yeah. You probably knew. That is what she told him, and in that same moment, we can hear the sound of the TARDIS. And the two most adorable people are arriving in the very same scene. And this is another one of those important scenes where at the end, all three doctors are standing at the red button, telling this one doctor that he's not going to have to push the button alone, but they're with him. Even though they despised this other doctor for his decision all their lives and tried to forget what he's done, or were so full of hatred towards him, in the end, like not the end, but in the end, they were there with him, and they saw that what he did, he only did it because there was no other way. He just had to do it, or it would have been over for everyone, the whole universe. And Gallifrey is in the universe, so if the universe gets destroyed, Gallifrey is dead. Like, Gallifrey is dead. This way or the other way. So, do you want to save the rest of the universe? Yes or no? And the simple answer is yes. Even if the price is so big. And there are billions of children on the other planet. The moment they laid their hands on his hand, and they were there to support him with this decision, they made peace with the decision. That was a brilliant moment. That was one of the best Doctor Who moments as well. And then, in addition to that, they didn't push the button because they came up with a better idea. Because now that they were united, they could use the power of the TARDISes to do something else, something that the other Doctor, when he did it back then, like of the timeline we know or we've known before this movie, he was alone and he had to push the button alone. There was no other way for him. The other way is just there. It just presented itself because of the fact that the other Doctors were there and were together with him. Brilliant story writing. It's just... give those people every award that there is. Yeah, and first, the people of Gallifrey, of course, they weren't happy about that decision when they first heard it, but then they realized that there is no other way. They knew as well. So they decided that it would be better to be frozen in time, better than to be dead. So they said, yes, we're on it. You can do it. Please do it. Please save us. So they're frozen in time now. But like the Doctor said, there is still hope. Hope that the Doctor one day will find them. And things will change because they're not hating the Doctor anymore. Because this time he saved him. The times where we've seen those people already, we've seen them destroying something that the Dr. was trying to destroy the Doctor. Because they hated him for the decision that he made. But not anymore. Because they now know that the Doctor did everything to save them. And they're going to help him. the cool thing is that they are there. We know they're there as a viewer. I mean, also the Mad Doctor knows. The other two have forgotten what they did, but Matt's like, he knows that they're there and he wants to look for them. And we as a viewer know they're there. But the show writers can decide to bring them back whenever. Next week, next year, in the next anniversary, which took place a few weeks ago, I think, the 60th anniversary. They can do whatever they want to do. They created this freedom of creativity for themselves by writing this story. This is so cool. This is so creative. This is so iconic. This is everything. I can't stop to praise those people for what they do. The job they do, it's brilliant. That shot is everything. Like, you can see all the doctors and they're changing the picture every now and then. And you can see the Gallifrey people. You can see the Gallifrey sign, Gallifrey stands. And those two words combined with the other words from the start give a totally new sense to what we've known until now. It's just brilliant how they did that. And they use the technology to show all of those other doctors, which is so wild. I mean, we've seen them before in other stories, but to bring all of them back again in such an important way, because they're not only there, but they're all kind of working together to save Gallifrey, all the doctors. Yeah, and then we say goodbye to our war doctor. He knows that he's going to forget about saving Gallifrey. He's always going to think that he did what he did. And then he goes inside the TARDIS and he regenerates. And I'm almost 100% sure he regenerates into Christopher. But I don't want to say anything certain, because I don't want to sound stupid if I'm wrong. And judging by the last minisode that I've seen with doctors regenerating, I don't have a very good history with guessing who doctors are. So I'm not going to do that. And then we get this lovely and yet very heartbreaking little scene at the end there with David telling them goodbye. And the scene wasn't sad enough already. And I started crying in the middle of him saying goodbye. But then, before he walks into the TARDIS, he has to turn around and he has to say those favorite words. I don't want to go. The same words he said before he regenerated. Like, truly, did we have to go there? Like, did we have to torture me that much? Really, was that necessary? Yeah. We needed to do that. Yeah, of course. So the David Doctor says goodbye, and we're left with the Mad Doctor. And then, all of a sudden, if I'm getting a right picture now, please. Yeah, all of a sudden this guy turns up. And I'm confused again while watching. Throughout the scene, I don't know how I could tell. I think it was his eyes, but also his mouth and the way his face moves when he talks, that I could tell or guess at that time this was Tom Baker. This is the Tom Baker Doctor. And I looked it up as soon as I finished the movie. While my files were saving, I looked it up, and it is the Tom Baker Doctor. The best ending for a movie like this, to bring back a classic Doctor. Like, not a classic Doctor itself, but the classic Doctor. From what I know, most of the people who watched the classic episodes loved this Doctor dearly. So to bring him back, we had his scarf throughout the movie many times in many scenes because of the woman that wears a scarf. But to bring him back, wonderful. And it also shows how much dedication there is within the actors who played the Doctor so much time ago. and they still come back. They still make an appearance. They're still there to complete a movie like this. Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm lost for words, and I think this is the way I'm gonna end this. Also, the last picture with all the doctors standing. But I'm just gonna leave it with this one because it's fascinating how those actors and actresses always come back to the same show. And I hope David will, and Matt as well, when they're older, and they will have an appearance like that in 40 years or so. I don't know. When I'm going to be up to date with the Doctor Who reactions and I can watch it alongside you. So, yeah, that's it. This is the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who. I'm completely tired right now. This really costs so much energy. The review is 1 hour long, and the movie already was almost 2 hours with the intro and all that. So I still have to edit that, but I do have 2 days, 2.5 days to edit it, so it's gonna be fine. But wow, that was very, very, very special. Thank you so, so much for being here with me. If you're still watching at the end here, you've watched a reaction for almost 3 hours, or at least 2.5. So, wow. Congratulations, you made it so far. And I'm so proud of being a member of this community. I'm so proud of being a companion on this journey with the doctors. Just like you are out there, and I'm so proud that I started this journey. It was one of the best decisions in my life. And I don't regret it, not even one single second. And I'm hoping for a journey that's going to be so much longer in the future. With brilliant actors, brilliant stories, brilliant story writing, brilliant cinematography. It's just going to be great. I know it. And I hope you're going to be there with me as well. So let me know all your thoughts about all of this in the comments down below. And don't forget not to spoil anything, because we've seen many things that could foreshadow future episodes. So please be careful while writing a comment. And I will see you next week with a new episode of Doctor Who. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.